This is KGW News at noon.
Just hours ago, President Biden addressed the nation announcing the U.S. will send Ukraine 31 of its most advanced battle tanks. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brenda Braxton. This decision comes on the heels of Germany also agreeing to send tanks to Ukraine as Kyiv prepares to counter a fresh assault from Russia. For months now, President Zelensky has called on his allies to supply Ukraine with tanks. Here's President Biden.
Today's announcement builds on the hard work and commitment from countries around the world, led by the United States of America, to help Ukraine defend its sovereignty and its territorial integrity. That's what this is about, helping Ukraine defend and protect Ukrainian land.
President Biden added the 31 Abrams tanks are not meant to be an offensive threat to Russia. And back here at home, Portland leaders promised to keep city services running if more than 600 city workers walk off the job next week over a contract dispute. These are union workers in the parks and transportation departments. They help maintain city parks. They work on sewers, streets, and sidewalks, among other things. They've been negotiating a new contract for the last 10 months, but are now at an impasse over cost of living raises. The union just notified the city that workers could strike next Thursday. Today, Portland enters a new phase in its effort to curb a record gun violence with ShotSpotter. That's a company that uses sensors to record the sounds of suspected gunshots before alerting police as to where those shots are coming from. Today, Portland leaders say they're opening up the bidding process, asking companies with similar technology to make a pitch to join the city's pilot program.
We want them to be very concise and clear about what they're proposing and how their technology works, but also addressing concerns that we have heard all along.
Those concerns include the effectiveness and cost of ShotSpotter. The company claims it's 97% accurate, but that data isn't publicly available. And other cities that currently use the technology have found it rarely leads to arrests. In addition to expanding the bidding process, Portland leaders say they'll also ask the public for more input. The Portland School Board unanimously approved money for electric fences to keep thieves out of its bus yards. That fencing is supposed to stop people from stealing catalytic converters and gas. At last night's board meeting, a bus driver testified that personal cars are also becoming targets.
They're ransacking their cars also. And the worst one that I know of is someone's truck got their whole steering column damaged as they were I think they were trying to steal the whole truck. So they were trying to get into the ignition.
That's bus driver Bob Foster. He said hiring security guards has helped, but he believes the electronic fences are the best solution. An audit found problems with Oregon's new law decriminalizing small amounts of hard drugs. Measure 110 also sends money to drug treatment centers like this nonprofit in the Dalles called Bridges to Change. The audit concluded it's difficult to know how much programs like these help people because they don't have to share their data with the state. One outreach worker pointed to bureaucracy as the problem. It can take weeks to get someone off the street and into an open bed at a detox center.
I feel like we've hit rock bottom and there's nothing left to do. If we don't get out, we're going to die.
I'm just prepared to help the next person. So as soon as I'm done with helping one person, I'm ready to go out there and help the next person, just to let them know that there is a change. There's something better out there.
According to a state-funded study last year, more than half the substance use, recovery, and treatment organizations in Oregon say demand far outpaces current capacity. Well, the federal government is sending millions of dollars in rental assistance to Oregon. State lawmakers announced yesterday Oregon Housing and Community Services will get $2 million, and the city of Portland will get $1.1 million. The money will help build affordable housing and provide a safety net for people at risk of becoming homeless. Governor Kotek has declared a state of emergency and asked lawmakers to spend $130 million addressing the issue. Okay, let's head back to the Weather Center now. I know some of you are enjoying the sunshine today, but Rod, what happened here in Portland?
I know, so this is about Portland. Let's start off being cheery. What a gorgeous day at the coast. Here's Cannon Beach live for you, out taking a wonderful stroll. We have fairly light northeast breezes, 47 degrees is the temperature. Folks up on the mountain enjoying a bluebird day. Temperature's not bad either. Timberline's at 32 degrees. That's our live pickup there. And even folks out in the gorge, maybe just enjoying a walk in Hood River, some of the hiking trails. There you can see Mount Adams just sticking up. That's Cathedral Ridge Winery in Hood River. And then comes the Willamette Valley, and it is like this up and down I-5, like a perfect glove over the I-5 corridor. We are overcast, 46 degrees. Here's the visible satellite picture over the dark background. It's the best way to see this. So these clouds from Eugene up through Portland, as a forecaster, you want to see the edges kind of erode inward to say, hey, we're going to be clearing out. I haven't seen that. So at least for much of the I-5 corridor, it could be a little while yet before we start thinking we have a chance to clear out, and maybe some areas never do. Right now, 46. We would need some sun this afternoon to get up to 50. Okay, that's today's weather. All dry, all quiet. We'll talk about that cold Arctic air mass coming in over the weekend in just a bit.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Rod. Yet another shakeup for the Portland Thorns. The team fired its athletic trainer and one of its assistant coaches after 2 league investigations. KGW's Mike Benner brings us the details.
Just 3 months after netting this goal in the National Women's Soccer League semifinal game, Portland Thorns midfielder Crystal Dunn's husband and Thorns athletic trainer Pierre Soubrier is out of a job, terminated by the soccer club. Investigators looking into allegations of misconduct found that Soubrier gave at least 2 players medication containing the controlled substance codeine. He did so multiple times and without a prescription and physician supervision, which is a violation of federal and state laws, not to mention league policy. But it doesn't end there. Also out of a job is Thorns assistant coach Sophie Clough for making unwanted advances on a player. Investigators found that Clough kissed a player's neck at the team's championship celebration in Washington, D.C. These terminations would be concerning if they were isolated incidents, but sadly, they are not. Late last year, Thorns head coach Rian Wilkinson resigned in the wake of a relationship with Thorns player Emily Mangus. Meg Linehan, senior writer for The Athletic, shared this with me at the time.
The 2 of them did tell me we hung out one-on-one in 3 settings. They said, as friends. And then by mid-October, both said, there was this expression of feelings via text messages.
Those messages and emails showed the relationship between Wilkinson and Mangus never turned physical, so Wilkinson was cleared of violating any sort of policies. But it was evident she could not keep her job, and she resigned. It came only 1 day after Thorns owner Merritt Paulson announced he was selling the club. This was due in large part to a months-long investigation that revealed a toxic culture of sexual, emotional, and verbal abuse within the Thorns organization. The coach at that time, Paul Riley, was to blame for a lot of it. But the investigation also showed patterns of misconduct by Paulson and front office staffers Gavin Wilkinson and Mike Golub, who were both relieved of their duties. Fast forward several months, and 2 more Thorns staffers are now unemployed. Assistant coach Sophie Clough and athletic trainer Pierre Soubrier. The Portland Thorns did release a statement saying they remain committed to following all NWSL policies, and that explains why they fully cooperated with the league's investigation into the trainer and assistant coach. The statement goes on to say the health and safety of the players is the club's utmost priority. Reporting from outside Providence Park, I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.